good for Erik.
Why did you end up leaving before the show ended its run?
Well, we did. I had done. I had flown to Brazil, and they paid me a lot of money to do a personal appearance there. And I took some friends, two stunt guys that I used to hang out with, and my attorney, and we partied and had a good time in Rio de Janeiro and so on. Right. We were the flavor of the month. 40,000 people met me at the airport, and John Baker, and kids on the highway were in a limousine lined in their little Chips uniforms, and McCann Erickson was their. They had four senior executives in different continents, and that was one location. So they really did a great job of advertising and marketing my appearances. Huge event. I got to be Elvis for a week or so. When I came back, my agent told me that I got really bad news for you. I said, what's that? And they said, they're not going to bring you back on Chips. I said, what? What do you mean? I mean, really? And I directed two of the highest rated shows, and I brought my own productions and made deals for NBC and MGM, all by myself, right? No uncle or anyone helped me. No cousin, no background, no church, no synagogue, nothing. I just went out and did it, right? Signed deals, got deals, brought them to my team players who weren't my team players. That's the sad part about the film business, right? And so I couldn't believe it. Later, I had lunch much later. I didn't really understand how that took place, and they just decided not to bring you back as an actor. I hurried up with my public relations person, Rogers and Cowan, I think it was. Anyway, a big PR firm, and we did a newspaper release in LA Times, and I said where I'm going to leave the show and have been there long enough, and I beat them to their punch because I knew it isn't going to look good saying that they got rid of me, right? That doesn't make your career look good. So I thought they did get rid of me. But later on, I had lunch with the executive producer, Cy Shermack, and he said, no, are you kidding me? Erik had you fired. I was in that meeting. I said, what? The guy saved his life and he had me fired? And he said, yeah. He came in and his ultimatum was because he owned a percentage and he had sued MGM and sued NBC, take it or leave it. Either I leave or you get rid of the people that I tell you I don't want on the show anymore. So he had a laundry list of people that he had fired. I couldn't believe it. I just thought, wow, what a lowlife had me fired, right? And then to make full swing of that story is about 10 years, 15 years, long time later. I mean, I grew up in Wyoming where people that did stuff like that, you go around on the other side of the barn and settle it. And that's not a good way to do it, by the way. So I'm not bragging about that. That was a hick mentality that I had that's how I did things, right? And as a Marine, I did them all the time, right? That was my first go-to action. And I always felt that's how I'll do it in the future if I ever run into Erik. And then one time someone said, why don't you guys make up? And it's been so long and blah, 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 blah. And the more I thought about it, is, wow, have you grown any in your life? Are you still a punk from Wyoming? I mean, a cowboy walking around with a swag acting like you're tough? Well, why would you want to do that? And so I thought about it by myself, never had this really conversation with anyone other than myself. And I realized that I have to submit. It's kind of like when you love someone, you have to submit, you have to be vulnerable, you have to trust. And so I took the high road and said, I'm going to be his friend. And unequivocally, I don't have any items on a scorecard that he has to meet. I have to meet him. And so when I see him, I'm going to love on him and be his friend and defend him and let time honor me because he'll distrust me. And the distrust that we both had over time, that was the toxicity of the relationship. So I had to discard that, right? And that's what I did. And now we're like best friends. Like I picked up his cards the other day. We have these identity cards we have for Chips, right? And I got him a deal on them. Here's people buy these little identity cards, right? And so I went and got his done so he could get them at a good rate and had them done and delivered to him personally and so on, right? And I everything I do, I don't care anymore if he's the bigger star, the smaller star, the more appealing actor, the less appealing actor. I just want to love him as a person. And it healed everything. We really have a great relationship as a result of that. So that's how I left CHiPs.
That is thank you for sharing that with me. That was
Yeah.
wow.